Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, and I am the president of Aeris Communication. In addition to these, I am also the chairperson for the IET India IoT panel. IET is a 146-year-old UK-based institution for engineers, the Institution for Engineers and Technology. I'll take 2 minutes to tell you who we are as Aeris Communication. We are a mobile virtual network operators, and there are people from DOT, from different organizations in India. So I just want to say that, in United States, there are multiple parents allowed for an operator to become an MVNO. So you are allowed to use a network for multiple parents, which is still not allowed in a given circle in India, as per the new policy, which is restricting us to become an MVNO in India. So while we are an MVNO, we have an embedded SIM which take care and shifts to the best possible network available in a given location. So AT&T, T-Mobile and Sprint, they are our parents. In case my SIM finds that the best available network in a given area is AT&T, it will switch to AT&T, and after moving out, if it's T-Mobile, it automatically shifts to T-Mobile. And that's what we realized was required for machines, because machinery needs continuous connectivity, and they won't be able to change the network on their own. And that's where we are. So we created that SIM and that connectivity, and we had to create a connectivity management platform because our customers were machines, and those SIMs were asked by the enterprise customers, and they were buying in bulks. So 100,000 SIMs for cars, 100,000 SIMs for a smart meter, maybe a million of SIMs for a healthcare device. And they won't know which system they have to change, but they will be starting and activated or deactivated once they are bought by somebody. So when a car is bought by somebody and the car has been embedded 6 months back, it has to be activated or deactivated at a time when it has been bought. So we created a connectivity or a SIM management platform, then the device management platform, then the whole data layer, and then the application and analytics. So we became from an MVNO an end-to-end IoT company. And as I just want to share this. As Matthew said, Masa-san said 100 billion investing. We are a joint venture with SoftBank in Japan on IoT and connected car. So he, with the arm as on one side with 32 billion investments, he's also investing in us as a joint venture partner to become an end-to-end IoT solution provider. So at one side, the devices and the connectivity, they themselves are the connectivity providers, and we as a complete IoT stack and the solutions. I think that's the story he's trying to create, and hopefully we'll hear some news soon. So while the topic of today's discussion, before I get into that, today we have 10 million devices connected on our platform. We are the only organization which has 10 million devices connected on a particular platform. We have 1.5 billion messages coming every day, and we have 60 plus IPRs for only machine-to-machine communications. So the kind of challenges which India is trying to face, we have faced that in the United States since last 20 years. We have been able to work on this, and we have been able to identify certain solutions. And when we realized that India, no more just a cost-effective place to work, it's also an area where there's a huge opportunity for business, we said for India, we have to make in India, and that's why we came here last year. Okay. Now, how to capitalize on connected world, which is the topic for today's discussion. So while we are talking about the fourth revolution, or somebody says third revolution, or whatever the revolution is, but what is happening is that I'm sure you all will agree that GE has started selling their engines as a service, and Philips has started selling their MRI devices, MRI machines as service. So the manufacturers are moving towards service providers, and service providers are trying to put services on machines. And there is an amalgamation of manufacturers with the connectivity and the service providers. But what we are trying to see is that the industries which are manufacturing and the services are combining their hands together and providing services end-to-end to the customer. It is also redefining the business models. Where I used to work for Mahindra's, the Reva car, which is one of the, I consider it to be a connected IoT solution in India. We were selling, the car, the battery as a service. So we had to come out with a new service model where the customer won't buy such a small dabba car in 7 lakh rupees. So how to ensure that a green car, a technology car, a best car available will be bought by the customer. And that's what the kind of new service and the business models we are bringing. The third thing which we are most of the time we are neglecting is a skill set requirement. As Swatiji said, 50 billion devices getting connected and 50 trillion gigabytes of data coming. Okay, what that means? To have 50 billion devices connected, we will require 4.5 million program managers to manage those programs. We'll require 20 million plus developers to develop those solutions. And are we working on that? So while there is an organization to create, there is a huge amount of jobs that can be generated, and there will be huge amount of reskilling that will be required to happen. Now I like to talk about the capitalization of the connected world, which is the topic of our first inaugural session. When we thought about the capitalization of the connected world, we took some business problems and we said how to provide solutions to those business problems. And I won't call it a business problem, it's a real-time problems. And we realized in the country in India, there's a 1 trillion units of blood, which is a shortage every year. And in a city called Bombay, and I'm focusing on Bombay, 130,000 units of blood get wasted every month because of lack of proper storage. So at one side, we have a 1 trillion unit of blood shortage, and on the other side, and why I'm focusing again on Bombay, because in Bombay, if there's a 130,000 unit of blood being wasted because of the lack of proper storage, that means the other part of the country, the position must be bad. What we did, we took that as a business challenge, and we have now created an end-to-end IoT solutions to blood bank monitoring. And now we have already implemented it, it is running. So it's no more a pilot and no more a POC. It is running with sensors, connectivity, and an end-to-end IoT solution, which gives alarms in case anything goes change. And we are now going to progress and see how much the blood we'll be able to save because of this solution. And now we are implementing it across, and we'll see how we'll be able to help the society. So while the capitalization and people talk about more of the connected cars where we are making more money, or the smart cities, which is very futuristic, and there are many other things which we can see, I believe that there are many other smaller and bigger opportunities in India which will result not only in commercialization and capitalization of the solution, but also provide the basic requirements which we are still lacking. The second thing which I want to, when I started this organization in India and everybody wants to see how to brand and how to see how will we work together, I read in the newspaper that the Art of Living is working on reviving the rivers in India. And in the Times of India article, they were telling how they are doing it and what are the kind of ways they're doing it. And what I realized that they're using sensors and they're using devices. We requested them how I can give my complete platform free of cost to you, so that the same amount of people who are working today will be able to revive more rivers in my country and will be able to revive more rivers. And that's what we are currently working with them very closely and trying to see how to capitalize the connected world and revive more rivers. 4.5 kilometers of a river in Latur has already been revived. Okay, not from our platform, but the IoT solution and the way they have been able to do it. So while we are still thinking about standards, security, and many things have already started happening, and things will not stop, because this new technologies and this new revolution that has come is really impacting everybody's life, and we really want to resolve and solve our problems. And I personally feel that the world is waiting for India to succeed, because if we are able to solve a transportation problem or a water problem or any problem, the whole Latin America, the Africa and Southeast Asians are waiting for us, because the mass at which we are able to provide solution is not possible anywhere else in the world. The last thing before I end, again, this one example of capitalization of this connected world. In India, 70% of our population lives in the rural world, and this is something which I keep on telling every time. Whereas 75% of paramedical staff, the trained doctors, nurses, and they live in the urban area, and we all know this. If Government of India really wants to provide healthcare as a service to the rural masses, we have problem of more. Okay, we have more people. If we want to provide, then there will be need for 2.4 million more doctors and 3.5 million more paramedical staff available to provide that. Or usage of Internet of Things. The best way is to use it of technology, because getting 2.4 million more doctors and 3.5 million more paramedical staff is not a possibility. So there is an ample amount of solutions which we can come up with and how can capitalize. No doubt connectivity is a challenge. No doubt standards are required, but things will happen with their time. Things like LoRa and Sigfox will come and resolve our challenges for network at a smaller area. And there are many more technologies that will come and we'll innovate. Thank you very much.